Welcome to my channel. Let's take a ride on the E-Way.
This is the tragic story of Markayla Johnson and her two kids who were unalived by a man she met online.
Thank you for joining us for the news at 4 o'clock. I'm Nick Sturdivant. We begin with several breaking stories at this hour. CMPD needs your help finding a missing woman and her two children. Take a good look at your screen. This is 22-year-old Markayla Johnson, along with 4-year-old Miracle and 7-month-old Messiah. Police say family members haven't heard from them and are concerned about their safety. They were last seen on Orchard Trace Lane in Northeast Charlotte. If you have any information, call 911.
But unfortunately have some grave news to report and some information to talk about in reference to a missing persons report.
She wasn't an evil person or nasty person. She was real sweet.
Tough one to start with here, folks. Now at 11, the tragic end to the search for a missing Charlotte mother and her 2 young children, as police confirm their remains have been found. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Jason Puckett. Now, we've been following this story since Charlotte-Mecklenburg police first announced the disappearance of 22-year-old Markayla Johnson, her 4-year-old daughter Miracle, and her 7-month-old son Messiah. They were last seen inside this apartment building on the northeast side of town on Orchard Trace Lane. That is the same place where police say they found human remains yesterday. Now, WBTV's Cam Gaskins has been following this story. He's joining us at CMPD headquarters, sharing what we know about the investigation so far and whether police are looking for anyone.
Yeah, Jason, police tell us that Markayla Johnson was in a relationship with a man around the time of her disappearance, and that man is now considered a person of interest in this investigation. But police are not calling him a suspect at this time. Now, meanwhile, we heard from Johnson's family today, still grieving and asking anyone for any answers in this unthinkable tragedy.
She didn't deserve this. She did not deserve this.
As CMPD Police Chief Johnny Jennings spoke to the media Saturday afternoon, the family of Markayla, Miracle, and Messiah Johnson stood right behind him, full of emotion.
But we never knew that something like this was going to happen to her because it was unexpected.
Still grappling with the horrific news of losing a daughter and 2 young grandchildren.
I miss my baby. I miss my grandkids. She was a good person.
And pleading with the community for help finding the person responsible for these 3 deaths.
No matter how small,
big it is, help the police.
Help, please.
Help my family.
Johnson's family reported her missing on March 3rd, and police say they exhausted every lead as a missing persons investigation before finally issuing a search warrant for Johnson's apartment 12 days later on March 15th. It is during that search warrant that police say they found the bodies of all 3 missing people. Johnson's family says that she struggled with mental issues and they believe she was taken advantage of.
She was such a loving person. Everybody knew that knew her. People took advantage of her.
Now the missing persons investigation for Johnson and her children turns into a homicide investigation and a search for the killer. Her family says that while they wait for justice, they will lean on their faith and are asking those around them to do the same.
Jesus is in charge of everything that's going on right now. So y'all just keep praying for us.
Now, we were told by the family that the man police are looking for who was in the relationship with Markayla is not the father of either of the 2 children who were killed. And at this time, because he is still a person of interest, police are not releasing his name. There's a lot to keep an eye on in this case moving forward. We will continue to keep you updated with any new developments. Reporting at CMPD headquarters, I'm Cam Gaskins, WBTV on your side.
Suspect accused of killing a missing Charlotte woman and her 2 children has been arrested in California. Charlotte police have charged 35-year-old Benjamin Joseph Taylor with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of concealment of death. Police sent out an Amber Alert March 8th saying 22-year-old Markayla Johnson and her 2 children, 4-year-old Miracle and 7-month-old Messiah, were all missing. Their remains were later found inside of an apartment at the complex where they were first reported missing. Taylor was arrested Saturday in Imperial County, California. He is now awaiting extradition back to North Carolina.
But newly obtained court documents give a closer look at the man accused of killing his Charlotte girlfriend and her 2 children, along with how the investigation played out. We've been following this case since Markayla Johnson and her 2 children, 4-year-old Miracle and 7-month-old Messiah, were reported missing in early March. Thanks for joining us. First at 4, I'm Siobhan Bryan.
And I'm John Carter. CMPD says family reported the 3 missing on March 3rd. According to new warrants, police say they went to the home 2 days later, but no one answered the door. We're told an apartment maintenance worker tried to go inside but couldn't get in because of a lock. Warrants say he shouted and no one answered. However, everything changed on March 6th when surveillance video caught Taylor getting on a bus and leaving the state. Police got a search warrant on March 15th. Warrants show officers found Johnson dead inside a storage container with numerous candles and air fresheners nearby. The next day, investigators found her 2 children, Miracle and Messiah, dead and tied up inside the trunk of a car. Now, Benjamin Taylor is charged with killing Markayla Johnson and the 2 children. Authorities brought him back to North Carolina last week after he fled to California following the murders.
Today, Taylor faced a judge for the first time, and WBTV's Mary Calkins shares why prosecutors said bond should not be an option.
Benjamin Taylor stood shackled before the judge this morning, accused of killing Markayla Johnson and her 2 young children, 7-month-old Messiah and 4-year-old Miracle. He is also charged with concealing their deaths. In court, the state requested Taylor be denied bond. The DA said, quote, "This defendant, Your Honor, is a tremendous danger to the community as well as a flight risk." The judge appointed Taylor an attorney before denying bond. This all began March 8th when Markayla, Messiah, and Miracle were reported missing. At the time, investigators told us they did not think the Johnsons were in danger. WBTV was the first to show you this video last week from the Imperial County Sheriff's Office. It shows deputies taking Taylor into custody the day after the bodies were discovered 2,200 miles away from the scene of the crime. Deputies found Taylor inside a tent near the Mexico border. It took authorities just over 2 weeks to bring him back to Mecklenburg County. He was officially booked on Friday. Taylor was taken back to the Mecklenburg County Jail. His next appearance is April 26 for a probable cause hearing, and we will be in that courtroom and let you know what happens. Reporting from the courthouse in Mecklenburg County, Mary Calkins, WBTV, on your side.
She was a sweethearted person.
Today, loved ones paid their final respects to the Charlotte mother and her 2 young children who were killed last month. We've been following this story since March 3rd when Markayla Johnson, her 4-year-old daughter Miracle, and her 7-month-old son Messiah were reported missing out of Northeast Charlotte. Well, nearly 2 weeks later, Charlotte-Mecklenburg police found their remains inside their apartment complex. Investigators arrested Johnson's boyfriend, Benjamin Taylor, and charged him with murder. And only on WBTV, you saw this video of law enforcement taking Taylor into custody while he was in Southern California just 1 day after the remains were found. Tonight, Taylor is back in North Carolina in the Mecklenburg County Jail. He's charged with 3 counts of murder and failure to report a death. Our crews attended today's service for Johnson and her children. And tonight, WBTV's Erica Linsford has more and is joining us live from CMPD headquarters. And Erica, this case, it's really been an emotional roller coaster for so many people. What are you hearing from the family, and what do we know about the suspect?
Yes, John, as you mentioned, it was very emotional indeed for everyone who attended. Today we spoke to a family member of Johnson. She shared how she would like Markayla to be remembered by everyone, and she also shares a message for people watching here tonight. Hundreds made their way into the Scotts Branch High School gymnasium. The service awash in pink, with flowers, signs, and pictures as people paid their respects to Markayla Johnson and her 2 children, 7-month-old Messiah and her 4-year-old daughter, Miracle.
Yes, her babies. They love their mom and they love family. So it's going to be a minus in our family. We will miss her.
Among those attending the service in Summerton, South Carolina, was Markayla's great aunt, Carol Tyndall.
She's a sweetheart of a person. Will give you the shoes off her feet and walk beside you with that. She will give her last. She was a sweethearted person.
CMPD announced it found the remains of Johnson and her 2 children in an apartment back on March 16th. After that press conference, her family spoke with us, saying they believe she was taken advantage of. Tyndall says she's hoping women walking in Markayla's footsteps gain the courage to walk in a new direction before it's too late.
Is there anyone out there have experienced any type of domestic violence in any type of way, get help. Don't close your lips to that. Get help.
And as we mentioned, Johnson's boyfriend, Benjamin Taylor, he is facing 3 charges of murder. He's in custody right now. We do not know many details about their relationship, but CMPD did tell us that he is not the father of Johnson's children. Again, he will face a Mecklenburg County judge for the first time on Monday. We will be there to bring you all any updates. Reporting in Charlotte, Erica Lunsford, WBTV, on your side.
First tonight, though, we're learning more about what led to the death of Markayla Johnson and her children, Miracle and Messiah. We just got our hands on CMPD's search warrant for this investigation.
Yeah, the 4-page document does have some retractions, but we are able to see what happened in the weeks and months leading up to their disappearance. That warrant shows us Markayla first came to Charlotte fall of last year to be with a new man she met online. An unknown person came in early November to bring her and both children back to Myrtle Beach. The Johnsons then left Myrtle Beach again in late January to return to the same apartment.
And the warrant shows that outside of text messages, Markayla last spoke to the redacted person on January 20th. That person says the text messages that followed did not match normal communications. And the 3 were reported missing to police on March 3rd. The family went to the apartment on the 5th to try and make contact with no luck.
And then the next day, a wellness check at the apartment found no necessary items to care for a child or baby. CMPD requested the public's help on the 8th of March, and police found what are believed to be their bodies this past Friday. Her family spoke to media the next day.
She was a good person, and everybody knows Kaylin would do anything for you. She didn't deserve this. She did not deserve this.
Her boyfriend, Benjamin Taylor, is in a California jail tonight. He was found this weekend and charged with murder and concealment of death. Public records show Taylor has had multiple run-ins with police, including charges for assault and kidnapping.
Like what it do, ayy, I just put a